Every time. Beat you that.
I thought I'd find you here. All I had to do was find a place that served hard liquor, and I'd find you, sitting around feeling sorry for yourself, rotting away behind the bottle. You know, you used to be a lawman and a good one, but just look at you now.
I thought you were dead, Clayton.
No, that's my brother you're talking about. I'm replacing the marshal who replaced him. He's been missing.
Marshal, I know you didn't ride all this way just to have a drink with us. What do you want?
I'm tracking a killer. I need your help.
My daughter'd been alive if it hadn't been for that man.
That no-good murderer needs to be hung. String him up. Hang that man. He's no good. We need him hung right now.
We'll find that man, and we'll hang him from the hanging scalpel.
Yeah, he deserves it. We'll get him.
Sure will. We'll hang him right there.
Back off.
Marshal, hang him, man. Come on, let's hang him. Hang him, hang him. Get a rope and hang him.
Back off. Go back.
My daughter would have been alive if it hadn't been for that man.
This is your last warning, Frank. Don't make me use this.
When I go down, don't back up.
Sorry, Frank.
Take that man out and hang him. Hang him.
Hey, you hang, man. He's gonna hang. Hang him. Get that rope around this man's neck. That's good and sturdy. Hang him.
my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Dear friends, we are gathered here to lay to rest our loved ones and these dear departed, and no matter how unjustly their deaths, we must keep forgiveness in our hearts, for many people are caught up in the rage and the passion of the moment. And for any of us to cast the first stone would be wrong, because the Lord said, "Let he without sin cast the first stone," and no one was able to cast the stone at the harlot. We must have forgiveness. The passion and rage that a murderer can bring out in us. And we know there are those gathered here in our town and amongst us who took part in this horrible deed where innocent men died. But we must keep our eyes upon God and remember that his goodness and his mercy will always surpass and be far beyond any sin we can do if we keep our hearts in the right place and ask for his forgiveness. Now we lay to rest these departed ones, and we keep their memory alive in our hearts forever. And grieve not for the ones whose souls was with the Lord, for they are in a far better place than this one. Let us pray. Dear Lord, be with these dear departed ones, and comfort those whose hearts are broken and hurting at this moment. And we praise thee and thank thee for thy mercy and thy goodness, and help us to see that life is a hard path, but with our eyes on you and not on the ground and the dirt, we can make it through to the shining light. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen.
I thank you for coming.
Thank you. Good service. Good sermon.
I know my brother was a murderer, but even he deserved a fair trial. He deserved to be hung legally. I just want you ladies to know, the Lord forgives, and so do I.
You've had plenty of time to make up your mind. Now, what's the answer?
Clayton, you're tracking a killer. You couldn't track your way out of a watermelon patch. You don't need me. You need a tracker.
No, I need a lawman. I need you. You got experience with the gun to deal with this man. I'm not just carrying somebody along to get him killed.
And how do you expect to catch him?
What you're saying is this man's leaving a trail of dead bodies wherever he goes. You don't have a description because he don't leave any witnesses. That's hard for me to believe, but if I did believe him, how do you expect to find him?
By following a trail of dead bodies.
Mister, we don't appreciate your horse urinating our branch. Our kids have to swim in there.
Mister, I don't know who smells the worst, you or the horse.
Let's put that old nag out of his misery.
Now, his horse don't know any better, but he does. I'm going to kill him.
Don't go out there, Johnny. Don't go out there. You'll be killed.
My first mistake was not shooting that lynch mob. I've taken over Laney's place as sheriff, and I've got a responsibility to face up to.
That responsibility is going to get you killed. It's a town's responsibility. Go to the saloon. Ask for help. Swear the men in as deputies if need be. But don't face this man alone.
Sheriff.
Hey, that's a good job, Sheriff.
That's something else. Yeah, he's some sheriff, ain't he?
Yeah. That's good work.
Yeah.
Good job, Sheriff.
Some of you men helped me get him to jail.
Take a look at it, Doc, before we carry it. Let the doc look at it before we carry it.
He definitely needs my horse.
Will he survive the jail?
Take it over and let me inside.
Come on, Doug, let's get it.
Look, Doc.
finish up here and we'll just give that old sheriff a hand there. Give him a little helping hand.
Yeah.
Oh, something else. How'd you like that, boys?
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Either way, we gotta make up our mind and get rid of him because he's in our way too long now, and we got business to take care of.
Right.
Hurting our business.
Why talk about it? Why don't we just get it done?
Well,
Instead of sitting and talking.
Simmer down there. It takes a little planning.
Sit here and talk.
well, don't get all excited about it. Let's have another drink or two. Here, take another drink.
You're going to get rid of him? Get rid of him.
Well, we'll do it. Just don't get all excited about it.
You keep talking, and he's waiting to get a gun. If we don't go out there and get him and get it done, he's going to have a gun come back and get us.
Well, let's go get him before he keeps on. Let's go get him, get it over with.
Well, let's just finish our drinks off and plan this out careful like. We don't want any slip-ups.
Right.
Remember those few times we didn't plan nothing. We don't want to go in there like a hog in a barrel now. We want to go in there slow and careful and get the job done right. Yeah,
Well,
easy to keep up with.
Anyway.
All right. I was riding hard and I hit a low branch. When I woke, I saw men coming at me with guns. I had the drop on them and I shot them down in cold blood. I remember they were chasing me, but that's all I can remember.
They're all dead. I found this hat along the trail. Is it yours?
I don't know, but I would like to have it.
The men are getting looked up in the saloon. They're going to try to lynch you in a little bit, and we're not going to be able to stop them.
Sheriff, why don't you just let me have my gun and I'll go have a talk with him.
I can't do that. You might turn on me.
Give him his gun, Johnny. That mob will kill you. What have you got to lose?
She's right, Johnny. Why don't you give him his gun?
Well, Sheriff, just give him a gun. I just stopped in to let you men know that I'm the new deputy in this town. There's not going to be a hanging. And if any of you got a complaint, you talk to me about it. I just want you men to know that I mean exactly what I say.
You men keep your hands away from your guns.
Means you're tending to your job. You're on your feet, Sheriff.
Good work, Sheriff.
Hey, go easy on that booze, man.
Hey, don't drink it all. You're getting drunk, yeah?
Oh,
Yeah, good work, Sheriff.
we'll have to carry him out in 2 minutes if he keeps hitting the bottle like that.
I thought from here I was drunk. That bottle spending. What that sheriff will do next.
Who's gonna buy the next bottle anyway? I don't know what that sheriff's gonna do next.
I'll buy the next bottle.
Good. We're gonna need some more. take
Good work, Sheriff. Good work.
Hold that glass still. It keeps moving around. I'll take care of the next one. I still got $1. Good. Don't get out of that cheap stuff either. No.
Corbett, you got to get over that man hanging. It wasn't your fault.
I could have turned him loose.
It was your job to bring him in.
My job was all I thought about. I was afraid the man wouldn't get a fair trial.
I've heard enough. I don't care about hearing about it again.
Yeah, I'll never forget that hanging. They strung that poor boy up with them other 5 men. Tail standing around like it was a circus. His mom and daddy just standing there crying. You know, ever since then, I just threw my badge down. I'll never have anything else to do with him.
My heart just bleeds. I turned a young man loose. He went out and killed 3 people, shot them down in cold blood. I think about it every time I see their families. I've got to live with it. Looks like it's our place to do our job, not play God.
Do you know what that means? Well, do you know what that means?
Yeah, that means you can hit a bottle from 100 paces with your right hand, too.
You know, Sheriff, you're learning fast.
Here you go.
Thank you, Sheriff. You know, we'll go into detail about this lesson after you make the lines. That's all that it means, that I can hit a bottle at 100 paces. To be a good lawman, you don't have to be the best shot. Most gunfights happen anywhere from 6 to 8 feet apart. My advice to you is get in so close that you can't miss. Beat the man to the drop. If you show that you got the stomach to draw down on a man at close range, you'll be respected because he knows that if he don't beat you to the drop, he's going to get hurt.
You sure know a lot about guns to not know who you are.
All I'm saying is that if you've got the backbone for the job, you'll have the followings. Get you some good riflemen for deputies and you'll be okay.
Maybe you was a lawman. Well, look, I got to make my rounds.
Just remember, don't get in too close. No closer than 3 feet. Carl Smith got in too close on a coal mine in West Virginia. He took that gun away from him and beat him to death with it. Just keep that in mind.
Okay.
The coal mine. Does that bring back any memories?
I can't remember a thing about West Virginia. I don't know where I was there or where the story was just handed down to me.
You're not suffering from headaches or dizziness. How do I know that you are not faking?
Maybe I'm happy with my new life.
I would like to make some inquiries about your identity. I promise you, the deputy will be the first to know.
Well, that's good enough for me.
Well, the trail leads to Twin Peaks. Maybe we can find something out there.
Yeah, if we don't find any more dead bodies.
You know that's not possible. One man taking on the whole town. They probably did us a favor and strung him up themselves.
Yes, I believe he can take on the town. If he takes out the top gun, or 2, that's leaving men that can't fight, even with women and children. Guns have been known to jam.
You know, I would have been dead 3 times if the man's gun hadn't have misfired.
Yeah, wet powder, bad firing pin, gears been wore down on the chamber. All these things can cost you your life. I take good care of my gun.
Marshal, I'm glad that you're here. The Rawhiders, they're coming in. They're going to try to take our town, our food, and God knows what they'll do to the women.
They can't be far behind. We seen their campfire at a distance, but we didn't know it was them.
I've got a man in jail, but I can't get him to talk.
I want to talk to this man. Look, mister, talk to clear yourself.
I've got nothing to say to you, mister.
Even if you are the killer, you got a chance to lie your way out of it. But if you just sit there with your mouth shut, you'll be taken to Hay City and hung.
I've got nothing to say to you, mister.
My first job in Hay City was getting the bodies up after they strung them up. Oh, they treated their prisoners nice. They give them their last meal the night before. The next day when the trap was sprung, it made an awful mess. Mister, I don't feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for the man who has to clean you up. Is that what you want to be? Just a mess on the street?
Marshal, the Rawhiders. They're coming in.
Sheriff, if you don't have anything on this man, my advice to you is let him go, because I don't think he's no killer.
How you ladies been today?
We're fine.
Really nice seeing you all. Wilmer, I haven't saw Jake lately. How's he doing?
I know he's due a checkup, and I'll try my best to get him in here, but you know how hard it is for him to come.
Cut on his arm from that barbed wire fence, and it being rusty is not a good sign, you know. He needs to take extra special care of that. And I need to see him. Tell him that I'd like to see him and check to see if make sure it doesn't have any infection in it.
I sure will.
And how you been?
Just fine.
Good. You haven't been in my office for a checkup lately either.
I'll be by in a few days and make an appointment with the doctor so I can have a checkup. I know I need it.
Did it bother you that much, killing a man?
I can remember watching a man hang. I can't remember where or how long ago it's been. I can still see that look in the man's eyes as they led him to the scaffold. He faced death straight in the eye. He never backed up. He had to have been afraid, but he didn't show it. What should he have done? Should he beg for his life? Should he struggle on the scaffold? They would have hung him anyway. He faced death straight in the eye. He never backed up. He went out with respect.
You didn't answer my question.
I was 20 years old when I was forced into my first gunfight. Oh, I'd practice with guns, but that's not like going up against a man. I was scared. I feared for my life. I didn't think that I stood a chance. Then I remembered that man's walk to the scaffold. He faced death straight in the eye. He never backed up. I made up my mind I wasn't going to back down. When the shot was fired, I saw the man laying on the ground. I was so glad to be alive that I felt no guilt. I was just glad that it wasn't me. Look, if killing bothers you all that much, you better trade that gun in for a plow and take up farming. As sheriff in this town, it's your job to protect these citizens at any cost.
You men aren't going to come in our town shooting the place up and bothering our women. Now you men take him out and bury him.
Sheriff, why don't you just go on and take that night off? Spend some time with your sister. I know you two have got a lot. You want to talk over. I think that you can get her straight. I can take care of things. Don't worry about it.
It's that deputy that's traveling with me. Nobody knows who he is. He claims he don't know
I've got the medical records from Dr. Wilson. The woman had been used, and we feel that when the family showed up, the man wasted all of them.
Doctor, I'm scared. I'm scared for my brother and everybody else in town. When this deputy comes back, when he realizes who he is, and maybe he knows who he is, maybe he's faking, he might turn on us. He might kill us all. We don't know he's guilty, but that gives him the edge.
There was a man hanged in Bryson City for the same type of crime, and he went to the scaffold claiming his innocence. His description fits our deputy to a T. There have been other reports. Maybe these men were innocent, and the deputy is a real killer. But he couldn't have committed all those crimes.
It don't change the fact that he's killed 8 men that we know of. He seems to enjoy his work. Maybe that's why he's so easygoing. Maybe he's got a split personality. Maybe he switches from one to another. Maybe you don't know his bad side, but until we know his real identity and his background, I'm scared.
If we don't stop this sheriff now, we'll never stop him.
First, we got to get that deputy out of town, the real deputy. Then, I think we can handle things.
How are we going to do that?
You can just leave that to me.
Get it. Well, I told you to stay off his property.
Hey, it's come up here for my cow.
That's my cow. Let's string him up.
That ain't your cow.
Hollister. We told you to keep your son off our property, and we hung him. And we mean it. Understand?
I'll kill you for this.
I wouldn't think about it, Mr. Hollister. We got you outnumbered.
If I ever catch you on my land again, I'll kill you.
Brought to my attention that farmers are being harassed. I need a man out there to patrol the area. I think you'd be the best for the job, so you can stay at the Hollister place.
The sheriff, I think it's a good idea.
You haven't watered them animals since John died.
Well, I just don't care anymore.
I'm sure them animals do. Look, we've got to go on with our lives. If things was different, you wouldn't want him to give up.
But things aren't different. Look, I'm going out and have a drink. What do you want, mister?
Mr. Hollister, I hear that you're having trouble out here. I was sent by the sheriff in town to patrol the area. I was told to report to you.
Mister, if you're going to stay around here, you're going to earn your keep. Get over at that woodshed and stack that wood.
I'll go fix something.
You know, Deputy, you got here a little late. Our son was hung.
Now, John, you know this ain't the time or the place to talk about it.
Well, that's the way it usually is. Lawmen are just not that plentiful in these parts, and it usually takes somebody getting killed for them to send us out. But by me being here, it could stop it from happening again. Even if you do, it won't bring our son back.
You have to excuse my husband. He worshipped that boy. Ever since his death, he's not the same. It's like he's given up on life. Deputy, kill one of them chickens and we'll have them for dinner. Be your choice.
Be honest with you, Mrs. Hollister. I just seen these beans tonight.
They tell me you're a killer and you ain't got the heart to kill one of them chickens for dinner?
Honest with you, Mrs. Hollister. I just seen these beans tonight. Potatoes, they'd be fine. I just
The men that brought him back, they said they was ranchers. I've not seen them before.
Mrs. Hollister, why did they hang your son? I mean, what was the purpose of it?
He was accused of stealing cattle on posted land. But I know better.
It had been more to it than that. Has your son been in any kind of trouble?
He rode with Rawhiders at one time. He made his mistake. My husband took him back.
Those men might be vigilantes, not ranchers. They claim to be protecting the citizens, yet it's the citizens that's paying the price.
You guys can't hold your liquor, don't come back in here. All right.
sorry. If you guys can't hold your liquor, don't come back into this saloon.
You know, my husband was never one to drink except now and then. He likes to hang around the bars and arm wrestle with men. I wonder sometimes if he liked it all that much. He just wanted to get away from me.
I know the feeling. I was sent out of town because I wasn't wanted. Even if I wanted that job as deputy, the townspeople feel that they got better people to take my place. I'm not wanted, but I just don't feel that that's the case with you and Mr. Hollister.
No, when me and my husband got married, we didn't love each other. I just wanted to get out of the saloon, and he was a lonely farmer. He wanted the company of a woman to help him on his farm. We made it work.
I thought I seen you sneak that bottle in my house.
Well, Mr. Hollister, I hope you don't mind me taking a drink.
Well, the lady, she's out feeding the animals, so I just thought I'd come in and join you.
Have a seat.
Okay, thank you. Well, just to be honest with you, since they've hung my son, seems like I just don't have a whole lot to live for anymore.
Well, Mr. Hollister, you shouldn't feel that way. I've been sitting around feeling sorry for myself because I've lost that job as deputy. I taught that young sheriff how to do his job, and town citizens, they just politely ran me out of town. But I realize that I haven't lost a son, and I'm not going through what you have. You know, we've got to look at what we got going for us. You've got a good woman here. You got a good farm. You got to go on with your life. I realize that I'm not needed. I just think that it's the Vigilantes that's been causing you trouble. I think that was just an excuse to get me out of town. They could be responsible for your son's death. We've just got to go on.
Well, I think you're exactly right. I really do.
You see that? He beat Jack Warner.
I reckon he did. I didn't think nobody could take Jack Warner. I didn't think the kid could do it. You know, maybe we better respect that sheriff a little more. Yeah. Well, I think we saw something today. It's worth coming down here just to see that. that was something else. I just didn't think the kid could do it.
He did it. That's something I believe. It's all I'm concerned about. Tree and things. Good job.
Here you go, Mr. Hollister.
Boy, I'll let you start out with milking the cow.
Well, Mr. Hollister, I don't mind watering the horses or feeding the animals or chopping wood, but I've never milked a cow before.
Haven't you never squeezed a tit?
Well, not one that big.
I'll take this and go water the animals.
That sheriff has got 6 deputies, and he's got the big head.
He's right. I've heard talk. If he gets enough man, they're going to get us for hanging that man.
That young sheriff took Jack Warner. We got to take him seriously.
We've got to get the man that can hurt us out on the farm. The way I hear it, he's got 8 dead men to his credit. He ain't no lawman. He's a killer. So why don't we just treat him like one?
You know, I'm really glad about that fella being here. It seems like to me he's helped us out a lot here on the farm. I know he don't take the place of our son, but he does a real good job chopping wood and everything. I'd like to have him doing plenty more around here if he just stay with us.
You gonna beat that man to death, or are you gonna hang him?
You ever come into town, I'm gonna whip you to death.
We'd better kill this man while we can.
Get the rope and hang him.
I don't want to kill this man. There might be a bounty to collect on him.
Get the rope and hang him.
I won't stand in your way, but you go on and string him up. But I don't want any part of it.
Keep the bandages changed once a day to avoid infection.
Do you think that your husband is jealous about me being here?
There's no need to be. He's happy that you're here.
Well, you know, I'm really glad about that. He's starting to smile now.
No one will ever take the place of his son. But as a friend, you're coming close. You say you're suffering of loss of memory, but yet you seem to be happy.
Well, I enjoy working on the farm. Maybe it's because I like being around you and Mr. Hollister.
What I want to know is, if your memory comes back, what kind of life will you choose?
If there's no commitment, I'll choose the life that I like best. Well, my money's on Mr. Hollister.
Let's go, Hollister.
Come on, Hollister.
Near on these men.
It won't do us any good dead.
This is where we part company, Marshal. Ambush is murder. The way I see it.
I've only got 10 deputies to cover the area this side of Hayes City. I only have 2 with me today. It's my job to keep my men alive. I'm not putting the lives of my men on the line for fair play. Not when we're dealing with murderers.
A killer, just like Sheriff Crawford. And they let him go?
Well, I'm sorry you see it that way.
Yeah, we used to work for Sheriff Crawford. He wasn't all that bad a man. He just had a weak stomach.
What do you mean? I thought Crawford was too cold-blooded to have a weak stomach.
Yeah, he just couldn't stand to take a prisoner to the John. Didn't like playing nursemaid. One man had to run, so we all went over to the saloon to have us a beer. When we came back, it almost took our breath. We hopped on our horses and rode out of town.
Yeah, I heard Crawford slept out on the porch for a month. Yeah, if Crawford knew them men were guilty, he'd shoot them down.
Do you mean that you abandoned your job?
Well, we wasn't needed.
You remember that Smith boy who got 10 days for stealing? He just kept wetting the bed. I got him a pan. It must have been 100 degrees outside. Crawford just couldn't stand it. He run him off. He said, "Boy, get out of here." Well, so much for that. We got to get back on the trail. I think we'll find our killer in North Bend. That's where the bodies keep leading us.
To be a Texas Ranger, why did you turn out to be a bounty hunter anyway?
Well, there was good Texas Rangers and there was not so good lawmen. The poor man, he gets arrested, he breaks the law, he gets hanged, and he pays. These rich guys, these rich ranchers, they were paying them gold to get them off, and there's too many of them getting away with murder and stealing, and I had a belly full of it. And I just had to have justice at any cost. So I decided, I gave them an ultimatum. Let's have justice for the rich and the poor alike. They wouldn't have no part of it, especially that territory we're in. So I fixed them. I resigned. I was a captain of Texas Rangers. I'd had a belly full of their politics. Politics is what's going to ruin this country.
You said that right.
Politics is why I quit and became a bounty. At least I can make sure that the ones that deserve a fair trial get a fair trial. The ones that you can't do nothing. No good, low down, murdering skunks that are crazier than a rattlesnake in a hole. I make sure they don't find their way back. I'll take care of them, every one. Yeah, they call me mean and ruthless and crazy. I'm going to make sure that those rattlers and dag-nabbit rattlers, they're gonna pay.
Never killed no man that didn't deserve it. He wasn't a ruthless killer. You were a sheriff. You were known not to take a lot of your prisoners alive. Why did they finally let you go?
I wasn't going to play nursemaid to them. They wasn't nothing but killers anyway. And we didn't have proper food to feed them well, and I had to carry them out to the outhouse and back, and it was too much trouble.
I understand. Slimy snakes, they don't deserve a break. Well, I heard enough. We got a long ride, and we got a lot of slimy snakes to take care of.
Don't shoot, I'm surrendering.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! I'm coming out.
Do you think that your husband is jealous?
There's no need of it.
You seem to be spending a lot of time around my wife. I'd just like to know what's going on between you two.
Well, Mr. Hollister, you've been spending a lot of time in the bars drinking and arm wrestling with the men while your wife's been sitting around all by herself. There's nothing going on between us. All she wanted was a little attention. If you don't start showing her more attention, I will.
Y'all just stop this fighting. I mean, stop it right now. There will not be no more fighting in my house. Do you hear this, Mr. Hollister? Do you hear me?
You seem to be showing more interest in that gunfighter than you do me.
I just get lonely. Most time you're out there arm wrestling with the men. You haven't paid me no attention in quite a while.
Well, if you want him, you can have him, along with the farm. I'll just get my things and leave.
Doc, that bounty killer has just dropped the bodies in, and one of the men's been identified. That means Johnny will have to face up to him. That means he might be killed.
Lacey, I've offered to help John, but he don't want it. Now look, Lacey, you've got to stop playing nursemaid to him. You've got to let him live his own life.
Well, he won't live to be a man if he gets himself killed. I've asked Johnny time and time again to give it up, but he won't listen. He just won't listen.
You've got to get a hold of yourself, Lacey. You've got to let Johnny live his own life.
You killed an innocent man. Turn over your gun.
Take it, kid.
Turn over your gun or use it.
He's dead, Lacey.
The thoughts that I had of you was wrong. That's one reason I'm going to have to ask you to leave. My place is here with Mr. Hollister.
You know, Mrs. Hollister, I haven't touched you in any way. I've only held your hand to keep you from falling. Yet I'm guilty of sin. I stole the love that you had for Mr. Hollister. I've sinned. Yeah, you lit up my life. I had no control over my feelings. Yet I know who I am now.
What did you say he was dead, Doc?
Do you think those men will let him live if I'd said different?
How bad is he? Do you think he'll die?
The bullet dislodged close to his heart. We've got to pack him in ice and get him out of the town.
I guess you've heard about them rawhiders taking Red Gulch. They gonna have to be dealt with. Why not blame it on them?
When this is all over, we better have some dead rawhiders. You ladies gonna have to get out of town. The rawhiders are coming in.
We're not leaving.
You ladies are going to have to get on that wagon, don't we? We're going to personally put you on that wagon.
I'm going to have to operate here. We'll never be able to sneak him out of town.
Where's the body of that young sheriff? He might still be alive. We're gonna take this town apart until we find him.
There's a marshal from Hayes City who's been missing. He don't look all that bad, and he don't talk all that tough. He is unafraid. He would face death straight in the eye and never back up. That fits the description of the death trap.
I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. If this is the man you're thinking about, he wouldn't run from responsibility. No, this couldn't be the marshal you're thinking about. I think this man's running from something. I don't think he lost his memory.
But if I'm right, if this is the man that I think he is, he'll be there when he's needed. Memory or no memory.
We don't find this young sheriff, we gonna have some bad troubles. We'll find him. We'll find him. Find him, and we'll have. If we have to find him, we'll burn every building in this town down. Dang it!
We'll take care of it.
Let's do it.
We'll get more whiskey later.
Instead around talking about it, let's do it.
It's going to be up to you to get the marshal.
Doc, you know there's not a marshal within 100 miles.
Oh, yes, there is, Lacey.
Doc, I really hope you're right. I hope you're right.
I know I'm right. You've got to get to the hospital. You've got to let him know. If you get through, the death rider will come right. The death rider will come right, and only death will stand in his way. Start now, Lacey. I feel that you can leave now.
Okay, Doc. You want me to slip out the back way, take the trail through the woods to the Wilson place, have Mr. Wilson to hitch up his bunkboard and take me to the Hollister farm. What if Mr. Wilson don't believe me? What if he's not there?
I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about you getting lost in the dark. Do you think you can find your way?
Don't worry, Doc. I'll find it. I'll find it.
Here, Lacey, have a cup of coffee.
The Vigilantes. They've got all the trails blocked leading into town. They killed Mr. Wilson. They just shot him down in cold blood.
Lacey, how did you escape without getting killed?
Mr. Wilson had me to hide in the back of the wagon. So I did. When I heard the riders approaching, I stayed hid. I heard the shouts. They took the horses to the wagon. When I heard them ride away, I escaped from the wagon. Lucky for me, it was near a wooded area. I wasn't spotted.
Go on, Lacey.
My brother's still alive. The doc's with him. They're hid in the cellar. There are other citizens that didn't leave. They're all going to die, Mr. Hollister. They're all going to die. Vigilantes are in control, not only in town but out here. It's the vigilantes that hung your son, Mr. Hollister. The vigilantes did it. My brother told me so.
Johnny, I've got to give you something to make you rest. If you move too much, you'll start to bleed.
Do you think he'll come?
If Lacey got through, the death rider will come right. The death rider will come right, and only death will bear the way.
I don't know how that man got through, but they're going to have to arrest them horses. And when they do, we're going to give him some help. There's not but one water hole within 10 miles. They'll be here.
Marshal, my feet are sore. We've walked 2 miles from that ranch house.
Those horses will give us away.
I don't know how we ever let Clayton talk us into this.
Whenever this is all over, Clayton's gonna help us round up all these cows.
We gotta get the doc and the sheriff. We gotta burn them out. We have to burn down every doggone building in the town to do it. We'll get them.
Can't we wait till morning? We need to go up to Sloan, get us a drink, and play some cards before we burn the place down.
Okay. You've made your point. If we don't find them before daybreak, that whole town is going up in smoke. Oh, darn it.
You told us to burn this town.
Mexico.
We're gonna have to go to Mexico and lay over a few months.
Lay up there for a few weeks until it all blows over. When we burn that town down, we're gonna raise a powerful bunch of
He's looking for us.
There.
Burn the town down.
How well I know.
he'd stand them off alone.
I caught that sniper. Let's just train him up.
Well, you got the gun on him. Why don't you just blow his brains out right now?
You men made your first mistake when you beat me with those whips. Your second was when you shot that young sheriff, but when you killed that doctor. Every gunfighter's got his method, but it just works for him in his situation. For his life, I'll give you a chance to test your method against mine. A fast draw at 100 paces. You'll never do me in the way you did that young sheriff. You'll never hit me with that short-nosed snub. Not at that range.
You'll never hit me at that range.
Sheriff. Good work. Hey, you take care of that woman. You hear me now, Mr. Hollister?
That was Reno Smith. He's the killer we've been chasing.
He's killed almost as many men as Wild Bill Hickok himself.
There's a difference in the way they died. Wild Bill Hickok was shot in the back by a man who couldn't really use a gun. This man was shot between the eyes by a man who could.
Who was that death rider anyway?
That's Marshal Randall from Hayes City. He's not suffering from loss of memory. He just wants out of the job. Looks like I'm stuck with it.